Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to wearefree.tv, the channel that brings you different people from around the world talking about various subjects to do with alternative media, alternative medicine, spiritual subjects, alternative in every shape, every way, shape, or form. Also, conspiracy theories and fifth dimension and channeling and aliens and different modalities for curing different medical conditions and many more subjects that we all love and appreciate. If you wish to be interviewed, then please feel free to contact me on this email, nocensorshiptv@gmail.com. And of course, please join our Telegram group, which is wearefree.tv. As you can see, wearefree.tv on Telegram. And that is where I upload a link to every single interview as and when it is published. Also, it would be lovely if you could please share this video with all your friends and family so they can also enjoy the amazing content that is about to come your way today in today's unusual interview indeed. So today, my guest is the one and only Sam the Illusionist, all the way from India. And he is a channeler of extraterrestrial and high-density beings. The name of our interview is The Story of a Channeler. We are going to talk about channeling, of course, about different techniques, about sources, the soul, awareness, enlightenment, and many more interesting subjects to do with this amazing person here. Hello there, Sam the Illusionist. How are you today?
Hello, Michael. I'm doing really good. And thank you so much for inviting me today to share with your audience the types of things that I have learned throughout this journey of channeling the beings, and the messages I have received, have been very eye-opening, not only for other people, but also for me, because some of the messages I listen again and again, and it has some kind of effect on my own spiritual journey, it seems. So yeah, I am just really happy to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you for agreeing. I mean, I'm very excited because I've been following you for 6 months at least on YouTube. I don't miss any of your channelings, and a week or two ago, one of my viewers sent me a message saying, "Oh, you should check out this guy." And I clicked on the video and I was like, I know this guy. I've been following him for like 6 months now. He's brilliant. And then I thought, oh, why don't I contact you and see if you can, be interviewed? And obviously you agreed, and here you are today. So unfortunately, you cannot channel live for some reason, which you explained to me. I didn't really understand, because I interview many channelers on this interview on this channel, and they actually bring in the channeled entities, and I speak directly to the entities and I ask them questions. And I understand that with you it's not possible for some reason. Could you maybe explain? Is that okay?
One time, I tried with a viewer, a person who had requested like past life channeling. And I tried to do the live session. What happened was that the entry said that, because the person's thoughts, right, the person who is observing or watching this channeling session, its thought forms can be picked up instead of, receiving the real thought forms from the intended source, or from whatever I am channeling. So there is a high chance that, there will be a mixed message, and we don't want that kind of thing to happen, right? We want pure message, and of course, it's not like very easy to channel, under live circumstances, because I need to go into trance state. I need to prepare. There is a preparation phase that lasts around 15 minutes, approximately, and then I need to enter a trance state. So I prefer doing it like while I'm alone, because it's much easier to just relax.
Yeah.
And also, because of that reason,
Fair enough. And 15 minutes. Wow. I mean, the first question is, how did you become a channeler? So perhaps you could tell us, how did that happen?
Oh yeah, before I had no idea. About 1 year, 1.5 years before, I had never heard about channeling before. I was a normal person. I was a normal person who was interested in magic. I used to do street magic, hypnosis, just the normal guy, and one day, while listening to hypnosis session or hypnosis tape, similar to a meditation or self meditation, I went into this trance state and accidentally was communicated by um, some being. First time, my mother heard me, and the voices were like very different. So she found that I was speaking in a different voice, and she was scared. So I had to go to the hospital thing, because my mother was scared, and I was given some prescriptions to take. I was diagnosed with psychosis, um, which is termed as hearing voices in your head. They have given me a course to take of medicines and to enter into rehab kind of thing. But I then started to do some research, and the next time, I told my mother to record the session using the camera. I had a GoPro, and then she recorded. What came to was it was like my higher self was speaking to me. So I accidentally, like found out what was happening, and I researched online. And turns out, there are many people who have this ability. It's not only me. So I found out that I was not sick, okay, but it was actually an ability which was coming. Now, if I did not do the research, I may have been, like diagnosed falsely under the pretext of psychosis. But thing is, this only happens under a trance state. So I found out that yeah, this is how I discovered. I never heard about channeling. Never thought I would be channeling in my life, because yeah, this is one of the things I never thought about. Like this is out of my ordinary. Okay, like
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Mind blowing. How old are you, if I may ask?
I'm 28 right now.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent. Good age. So my life changed completely when I was 28. Then I heard that it's a very crucial age for men. 27 to 29 apparently is a window during which you could completely change your life in every
Really?
respect. And you happened to you just at the beginning of that. So anyway, who knows if it's true or not, but there you go. Now, so did you say you were meditating when you accidentally started channeling?
No, I was listening to a hypnosis tape. It's
Yes.
much like just sleeping on the bed.
But why
Just
were you doing
listening to
it?
a self.
Why were you doing it?
Yeah, because I used to take a course known as the power of conversational hypnosis. I was learning how to use my conversation to hypnotize people on the streets. And in that course, there was one video known as self hypnosis, which everyone has to listen to in order for the subconscious mind to understand it. So I really enjoyed it because it was like relaxing, and you enter into like almost sleep state. So it was really good. But then this happened. Like I was not expecting this to happen.
And what exactly happened? You started hearing. Do you know who it was? Was it the Pleiadians? Was it the Andromedans? Who was it? Was it the angel, Archangel Michael? Do you know?
In the first session, I have no. In the first session, I have no idea who it was. Okay, but the second time, my mother had recorded it, and it turned out to be my higher self. So what happened was, whatever I have, any kind of questions in my mind. So before entering the trance, if I have some questions in my mind, or if I am, like thinking about a problem, because many people, they obsess about a problem. If they have a certain problem, they just think about it over and over again. So I was doing that, and I discovered that whoever was coming through, like it was answering the question. So that's how I accidentally found out this ability, and yeah, it just happened in a way. Like, it's totally
Lucky you.
unexpected.
I wish it happened to me.
Oh yeah, you never know.
Is there a way? Maybe I should get that tape. The self hypnosis one. Maybe that could happen to.
Oh yeah, you can. You can buy it. It's called Power of Conversational Hypnosis by Igor Lidachowski. He is a hypnotist, and in that DVD, you will find out one self hypnosis tape, which started this for me.
I see. Okay. So how do you channel in terms of like a technique? Do you said you do 15 minutes? I'm guessing that you developed it because you said the first time you were channeling your higher self and you accidentally found it. So what about the second time? You said to yourself, well, I have to do this again. So I'm going to do what? And you went and did it. What was it?
No, the second time, what I did was, I had a question in my mind, regarding a relationship, kind of thing. So I wanted to try, whether the being, who comes through would answer it or not. And then turned out, the higher self, gave me a wonderful suggestion, and it solved that situation as well. And then later on, what I did was I did some research for the next 15 days. I did some research and found out like people were channeling the Pleiadians, the Syrians, and all these beings I had never heard about before. So they were channeling Ra and all of this stuff, and I was like, let me try, like because I felt that while entering into the channeling session, it's much like tuning into a vibration or a certain frequency. Like you can just pick a frequency. For example, like if I think about Michael, I have a certain frequency in my mind based on my memory of experiences with you. And I think the same applies with you. You have memories based upon what you have seen on my videos or what kind of experiences you have with me. And then, yeah, so and the second being, which I tried to channel was the Pleiadians. I think you know about Pleiadians.
Of
I
course,
channeled
I love
them,
the
and then
Pleiadians. I love hearing them, and I
I,
love you channeling them and other people who channel them. I mean, their message is always so lovely and friendly, and trying to help us and support us, the humans, the poor little humans.
yeah, yeah. So that's how it developed. I had done some research. I found out lots of channelers, like many people, doing the same thing, and yeah, that's how it all began. I just researched a lot, after that, just to find out, the types of, how they do it and what's the process they are doing it, and that's how it developed.
I see. Okay, and what about the technique? You say you 15 minutes. Well, what are you doing? I mean, it seems quite a long time. The people I channel, it takes them 30 seconds to get there.
Oh yeah, maybe like they are very good at like tuning into the vibration. I cannot like just tune into that fast. Maybe because I didn't like train. Some people are trained in channeling, so they can like do that. I need to firstly like before entering, I need to do a short like breathing, focusing on the breath kind of meditation thing. Then what I do is I use love and light protection of love light exposed water. For those of you who do not know, it's just praising the water, saying good things to the water, and the water crystal changes into more love and more
But what
organized. And
water?
then
Like a glass of water, or the water in your body?
water in the chalice. Yeah, you can take chalice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chalice which you see above my head, that
Oh,
contains the
right.
water. Yeah, so that's the water which I drink, and then I rub it in my body, and then I keep it above my head because the crown, they said the
That's
crown.
amazing.
Yeah,
How did you
then I
figure all
start.
that out? How did you figure it all out?
This what happened was that once I was channeling, and they gave me specific instructions to do this. Like I don't know which being was that, but once I started to like tune into the other vibrations, I was just experimenting in that phase. I was given specific instructions to keep my bed aligned to the north side and all this kind of stuff. I was given specific instructions. I followed that, and it was more easier, and I was protected because I never knew that channeling could be like very dangerous. You could attract some negative beings if you're not careful enough. So yeah, that's what happened.
How can you be careful? By putting something over your eyes and a blanket and lying in bed?
No, no, no. That's not like that. Anyone can do that, right? Like put in a blanket. Anyone can do that. The best way to be safe is like keep your thoughts positive throughout the day, and don't try to react to the circumstances on the outside world, and keep your emotions like in check. Okay, like you have to have, like emotions mostly like stay in the vibration of love, and don't try to react to what like the environment is doing or what other people are saying. Just stay balanced. That's the first thing. The other thing is like use protection. Like I said, the love and light water, it helps you to stay protected from negative intrusions, and that's the best thing I know how to protect
Amazing.
myself.
I have no chance. If I need to make sure I don't react to outside situations in my life, then I can forget about being a safe channeler. I'm just going to carry on interviewing instead. Excellent. Now, why do you lie down with something over your eyes and with a blanket? I've never seen anyone do it that way.
Oh yeah, because I found it that during the trance state, sometimes it gets really cold. Like if you don't have anything, just imagine sleeping at nighttime, without any like, and it's and I live in a cold area. Like, it's not like hot. Even in the summer, it gets pretty cold. Even right now, it's pretty cool. Like so, if I'm lying there, without anything. So my body may get cold, my feet may get cold, and I may wake up in the middle of the session, which I don't want. So just to get comfortable, I put some blankets. And why I'm putting my blindfolds on is because I normally record the sessions when there is light above my head. So I have a light above my head, so which makes it brighter. So I cannot like sleep, and because the light is like shining, I need to like just cover my
I see.
eyes so it's black. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if you only started a year ago, and now you have so many viewers on YouTube, you have like 40,000 subscribers. So what? So you immediately started publishing these channelings? I mean, weren't you afraid? Normally, I hear from channelers that it took them years because they were so afraid, and they were afraid people are going to laugh at them, so they didn't really want to tell anyone. And maybe 15 years later, they started coming out with this, and you just did it immediately. Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, what happened was that I before I used to do magic, I had a schedule of putting videos weekly on my channel, and previously, I had like 15,000 subscribers from my magic, just from my magic, and then one day I suddenly like changed my course, like because of the channeling. What happened was that I felt the message was so important. The message I had received was like they said in the message to share it to as many people as possible. In the message, they told me that. Okay, so what I did was like I thought like this is very important to share to people because you never know, you can save a person's life. Like maybe they want to hear the message, maybe it will help them to reach to the next level. And then I just like started like releasing sessions, and immediately like it just picked up. Like I don't know, maybe like people really resonated from their heart. Every single session I have put, like people have really loved it from the heart. I don't know, like maybe it's because I'm actually doing it. Like I'm not like some people, they say they're channeling, maybe they're reading somewhere, but I'm actually doing it. And maybe there is a certain vibration when you actually do it, right? I think
Yeah.
that's how like people resonated with the message, and it immediately like I gained lots of subscribers. Like right now I have 85,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and it's like growing daily. Almost on a daily basis, like
Yeah.
reaching a lot of. Yeah, really, really grateful that people love it.
I love how people send you presents, gifts, and you always show somebody sent you like a T-shirt and a mug and different things.
Yeah, this was also a gift, like from someone. Galactic.
Yeah, and I understand the amazing shirt. By the way, speaking of the Galactic Federation, just a question: who are they, and how did they come about, and what do they do, and how are we related to them in it?
Oh yeah, yeah. As far as a channel, the Galactic Federation is a, collective of beings from different galaxies. Okay, like from Andromeda star system, or from the Sirian star system, or from the Pleiadians. So they are a group of positive beings who are of a higher density. So I think they are above like sixth density, and they have collected. They say that their station is in our galaxy. They have a station in the Saturn rings. So somewhere in the Saturn rings, they have their base. That's what they say
Yeah.
in our galaxy. And they are what they're doing is they're trying to protect us from, infringement from negative sources. Yeah, that's their main purpose.
So they're protect. Okay. Speaking of negative sources, can you tell me? I mean, a few of the negative ones. What, the reptilians? I think the Orions are not very pleasant.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. As far as I know, like even the reptilians, they have the positive and the negative as well. Like we humans, we have positive people and negative people. In the same way, they also have both sides. But the reptilians, majority of them, they graduated in the negative cycle, and under the under the guidance of the Orions, who are also a little bit higher level of negative beings. So they have formed a negative collective, and they also have something known as Luciferian beings, which are like extremely high level negative beings. And they what they try to do is they go from galaxy to galaxy, trying to spread fear, trying to spread the message of service to self, and that's their main purpose, to divulge our planetary cycle of transition into the fourth density. They do not want us to properly enter into the fourth density positive cycle, which is of love and of compassion, forgiveness, all of those wonderful things, and even simple things. many people think that it's complicated. Spirituality is not complicated. It's just finding that love within yourself. It's very simple, but it's very hard at the same time, because people, they are confused, like how to do it and stuff. Yeah, that's what I know from the session.
Okay. What about the draconians and the zeta reticuli and the grays?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. As far as I've channeled, like the draconians and the zeta reticulians, right? They are also working under the negative polarity. So what they basically do is, like, I think the grays are like beings. They look like satellites, so they can enter our planetary sphere, because normally, like, other beings, they are not allowed to enter into our planet because of the quarantine, the protection we have around our planet. So these grays, they are being used by the Orions as robots, to enter our planetary sphere and to meet with people or make agreements with some people, so that they can have better leverage on what is happening on our planet, and all this kind of stuff that has been covered many times. And yeah, they're all related, like, as far as I know. They're working for spreading fear. They're trying to prevent us from achieving that unity consciousness of realizing that we are all one, even though like sometimes it may seem like we are separate, but we're all one in the long run, and that's their agenda.
I see. And do you know what are the chances? I mean, that we have to succeed. I mean, or God forbid, can they succeed? And then if they do, then what happens? I mean, I hear all these stories about us entering the age of Aquarius, and humanity is raising, its vibration, and the fifth dimension and all that. It all seems really good, and that the matrix is crumbling, and that the forces of light have won already, and the forces of darkness have already been chased off, and we are now, it's just the remnants of the collapse of the old system. I mean, what do you think? How far down the line are we? Are we in the safe zone, or is it still very open and anything can happen?
Yeah, I think, as far as I know, like, from the recent sessions I've done, they have said that like, there are some events which need to be, like, prevented by becoming aware of them. So what they mean is, like, just by becoming aware that, for example, if we already knew before the pandemic started that those things will happen, if we had already known that, then then the events may have changed or may not have happened, and our reactions may have changed. So they said that they're trying to, like, give some information regarding certain events that the negative beings they are planning, and sometimes they do plan certain things, and just by becoming aware, they stop that, because they feel that now we know about that, and they need to change their plans, and that just disrupts the negative like, agenda in some way, and it helps us to, like, enter the
But
positive
do we
cycle.
know
And
enough? Do you think we know enough to change their agenda, and to prevail against them, and to win the battle?
yeah, I think, slowly and steadily, we are, like, trying to learn as much as they provide us information, because the thing is also that the timelines are always, like, changing
What's a
based upon
timeline?
choice. Well, yeah, as far as I know, timeline is like, for example, like today, you and I, we are talking. So just imagine, like, if we were not able to connect today, then that would be a different timeline. So we are in that timeline, we are not together. Okay, so there may be different timelines like that. So what timeline selection means is that based upon your choices, based upon your vibrations, you meet people, you meet situations, because our vibrations are similar. We met today, and maybe it's because we have some purpose to spread the message to the human collective. This is the reason why we met. Now, in some other timeline, we may not have met. So it's based upon a vibration. Now, if the vibration was different within yourself or within myself, we may not have met today. So yeah, that's how it works. It's just about changing your vibration to align with a certain timeline you want. So if we want a positive timeline, we need to change our vibration to the positive, to the heart-centeredness, so that we can align towards that vibration. And
Yeah,
your
well, I never
choices.
understood that, because if there is another timeline where you and I haven't met, so where is that timeline?
Oh yeah,
Is
it does exist.
or when is that timeline? Because we're talking about today. So today this is the timeline. So when is the other timeline where today we haven't met?
The timeline is already happening right now, but we are only aware of this timeline because our consciousness. In one session, what they said is we are a single point consciousness. Okay, we are aware of only one point, so we are aware of only this timeline. There are infinite timelines and the other beings, the higher beings, and as we ascend higher, we develop, I think, the ability of recognizing the other timelines as well. So yeah, that's as far as I know, like the other timeline is already happening right now
It's
in
happening,
some
but I'm
other
not aware of
reality,
it.
and we
So
don't know
so
that.
so the other timeline is with a Michael Bloom that is not aware of himself, because the one that's aware of himself is in this timeline. I never really got this, to be honest. But I'm going to keep asking, and maybe one day I'm going to get my head around it. So
I can give you another analogy. Okay, like for example, you are in that room, right?
yes,
Now, do you think yeah, do you think you are not aware of the other room, right? At the same time.
I'm not aware of the other room. Yeah,
So does that mean that the other room doesn't exist?
it does, but I'm not in it.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's the same thing because we are in this timeline. We are not aware of the other room, the other timeline. That's it's just the same thing. Just an analogy to maybe help you understand.
Slightly, but I would ask, well, if it's not this, maybe it's not the right analogy for me to understand, because the other room is not with me, and you are talking about another timeline where I am in it, and apparently there's like an infinite amount of timelines where I am in them, but I am only aware of one. That's what I can't get.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
and
anyway,
the other room, in another timeline, you're already in the other room. Like um, you're already in the other room. Like in another timeline, you may not be having this interview. You may be in
yeah,
some other room. So,
but
yeah,
but
it's
I'm
kind
not
of hard
aware
to
of it. But and what about and the other Michael in the other timeline is also not aware of this Michael.
not aware. Yeah, not aware
So
unless
who is there one Michael that is kind of more has more weight than the others in terms of he's the one that is aware of himself more than others? I mean, obviously I'm now here, but I'm not aware of me being anywhere else, or am I also somewhere else not aware of me being here? I don't know. This is so complicated. Sorry.
yeah,
Um,
I think I think there is a version of Michael who is in the higher density, like in the sixth density. Your higher self is aware of everything. That's what they say. So your higher self, your Michael's higher self, is aware of all the Michaels that exist in various timelines. So yeah.
Okay, well, lucky Michael in the sixth dimension. So who do you channel? Do you know in advance who will come through?
Oh yeah, yeah. It depends on the type of information I'm seeking, and what I do is like nowadays I know it's much like playing a piano or a guitar. You have to hit certain chords or certain keys to get a certain sound. Same thing. What I do is I remember the vibration of the Pleiadians. It's like that. It cannot be explained, but you can sense it in your heart. It's like a feeling. So sometimes the feelings cannot be explained, like the same
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah, that's how I access them.
So you decide in advance. Today I'm going to channel the Pleiadians. Tomorrow I'm going to channel Metatron, etc. You just
No,
decide.
sometimes no, no. Sometimes what happens is like I get dreams. Sometimes I see them in my dream. So many a times they give me information like I need to channel them and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I get sometimes.
Okay, so you know who's going to come through in advance, and you either dream about it or you decide it. And can you describe a few of your sources, like the Pleiadians? Maybe you can say, "Oh, the Pleiadians, I love them because they're so soft and lovely, and I feel this special twinkling." And I don't know. And then Metatron is more, I don't know, rigid, whatever. Can you just describe a few, and who is your favorite, maybe?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. My favorite are the Pleiadians. And yeah, like you said, like Pleiadians have this nice warm vibration, and there are other beings like Archangel Michael. I channel who is like a lot like a father figure. You may compare it to a father figure, in your life. And Metatron, yeah, of course, he's more like like very like, kind of like what do you say, like super like strict kind of being, it seems. And there are other beings like the Syrians, the Arcturians, and
Yeah, so
the
tell me
Galactic
about the Syrians. How are they?
Syrians. I feel the Syrians are more like loving, in a way, like they approach with love, more love, I feel. And then there is the Galactic Federation, which of course is a mixture of beings. So I get mixed, like sometimes it's like very strong love, or sometimes it's very strong peace. Different kind of level of vibration I receive from the Galactic Federation. And I love to channel, especially the Pleiadians, because they are. What I've learned is like they are very like open to communicate. And there are many other sources, who channel the Pleiadians as well. And I find them very nice to like just approach for. If you have any query, they will have the answer. Like they're really good at that. So I love the Pleiadians.
What about the Andromedans?
Oh yeah. I have channeled the Andromedans many times, but I have heard that the Andromedans the Andromedans they have gone on some kind of mission to stop the Luciferian beings. So I have not been able to contact them. It's been quite some time. So
What
yeah,
do you mean
it's been
they're
like
not
4 or 5.
available? They're fighting the Luciferians, so they have no time to talk to you.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't know where they are. Like I cannot access their vibration at this moment.
Maybe in another
Maybe they're doing
dimension, or
something
maybe they're
else.
in another universe.
Yeah, it's all possible. Everything is possible, I think.
So, what about the Acturians?
Arcturians, yeah, they are also like very heart-centered beings. They have this grounding vibration. Like, whenever I'm channeling them, it feels like I'm really grounded in my like energy. And yeah, their main vibration I feel is like they have a grounding energy. Like, really, you feel like really grounded and solid and balanced and stuff. Yeah,
Okay, what about the Yael?
I haven't channeled the Yael before.
Have you heard of them?
Yeah, I think I've heard. I've seen one channeler while researching channeling the EIL,
Okay.
yeah,
What about
on YouTube.
the Sasani or Asasani? Have you heard of Bashar? You know Bashar, Daryl
Sure, I
Anka.
do know. Yeah, Daryl Anka. Yeah, I have heard of him, but I've never channeled the Sasani and stuff.
Okay, well, why don't you?
Oh yeah, because I feel like sometimes trying the in the beginning I did not know that I had to be careful of trying different sources. Like sometimes the source may not like accept my vibration. I feel like, I mean, it's a vibration alignment, like a handshake. Like whenever you're shaking someone's hand, you offer your hand, and if they like accept it, then it's done. But if they don't accept it, like
But if you
it's just a
wanted to
handshake.
channel, let's say if you wanted to channel Asasani, is there a way to try to say, okay, let me try to reach out to them and see the reaction? If they hug me in return, then great, then I'll carry on talking. But if I sense that they don't really want to talk to me, I'll just close the channel and move on. I mean, can you try that? Not now, but in general, is that how or you don't want to know? You just want to wait for a dream, and until they contact you in your dream, you're not even going to try.
Yeah, because one time what happened was that I was like really like kind of like attacked in a way by negative beings, like a shadow being appearing, yeah, appearing in my area. So yeah, I was like told by the Galactic Federation to like really be careful of trying other sources, because I know like the vibration of the sources that I usually channel. So if I'm trying something new, that's unknown, right? And with the unknown, there may be intrusion. So I am very careful right now
Yeah,
to include the beings,
I
because you
see.
never know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and how were you attacked by that being? How did it manifest itself?
Yeah, it looked like a shadow, like a black figure. It didn't have any shape, but it was like a moving shadow. Like it was like moving, like 3D kind of shadow thing, and it appeared in my in my toilet bath window at nighttime. And yeah, that was like pretty scary to see at nighttime. And
My
so
God, is
yeah,
that scary? That's terrifying. And how did you get rid of it?
yeah, they told me like I need to do the banishing ritual, so I performed the banishing ritual, and then I performed it in my area and covered around my house, and then pretty much it was gone. Uh,
What did you do? What ceremony? The balancing?
banishing, banishing ritual.
Yeah, like exorcist,
Oh yeah, similar.
exorcism.
Yeah,
So how did you do it?
same. It was it's a very detailed process. I have a video about it. Like I have channeling session about it. Like specifically, there are certain, like we need to like take this amount of water, boil it, then mix it with salt. We need to say some prayers. Then it's a long process. Like it's I actually forgot. Because whenever I do it sometimes like 6 months. Just to stay protected. I need to watch the session because the details, I don't remember. But it's very
Okay.
detailed.
Okay. So eventually it worked straight away, or it took a while, and you had to do it every day for a certain period.
No, it worked in one time. One time I did, and since then it's worked really well.
I see. Okay. Now, do you have a day job, or this is what you do?
Yeah, I do have a day job. I work as a translator in my area.
From what language to what language?
Here people speak in Nepali, which is the local language, and then Hindi to English, and Nepali to English. That's what I do.
Amazing. Okay. You like it?
Yeah, yeah. That's how my English like got a little bit good. And it helped me to spread the message, I think.
I see.
Otherwise, if English hadn't been that good, maybe people wouldn't have listened to the message. Yeah.
For sure. Now, I mean, you do private channeling sessions. You do like past life
Yeah.
regressions, or how do you call it? So, how does that work? I mean, you have private clients
Yeah.
all
What I
over the
do,
world.
yeah, I have clients all over the world. What I do is like, some people they have questions that they want suggestions about, and maybe they want their past life, what they were, how they evolved, and how they reached here, and maybe they want their purpose, because some people they are really lost in life, they don't know what their main purpose is. And what I do is, I channel their higher self, which is in essence in the sixth density consciousness, and I need their information like name, date of birth, to tune into that particular higher self, so I can place the queries. Same like channeling other beings. It's the same process.
How did you learn to do that?
Yeah, one day I did it my own self. Like I tried my own higher self. I tried for my own past life, and then I started to try for other famous people, right? Like people started to say, why don't you try for, like some like famous people, like. And then I started doing that, and it worked. So I found out, like it can be done like similar to channeling. It's just that you're accessing the person's higher self instead of some other being, which is yeah, it's very similar to
Mm.
channeling. It can be
What about
completely.
the guides? Like every person has his own spiritual guides. My girlfriend, bless her heart, she actually channels spiritual guides. Like you can channel my spiritual guide or anyone who comes to her, and it's amazing. And once
Wow.
she asked who are the guides, and they said that it's a collection of angels, aliens, higher selves, multidimensional beings, and etc. What do you think of the guides? Have you ever channeled guides? Do you know who they are? Do you contact them?
Yeah, exactly. I think the guides are, like you said, beings from higher dimension, like fourth or fifth dimension, and they're here to guide us whenever we need assistance, and specifically the angels. They help us in this time. And, yeah,
So, specifically who?
the angelic beings, like
Yep,
archangel.
yep.
Yeah, they are very like they try to help us whenever we seek guidance.
And everyone has his own set of guides.
Yeah, everyone has their own set of guides, like specifically their soul family. So, as far as I know, like there are certain beings from their same soul family who have specifically chosen the role of guides. So they don't incarnate, but they remain in spirit form, and then they may guide you whenever you need assistance, like whenever you want to go somewhere, or you will receive an intuition or an inner hunch, and that's how they operate. Pretty much.
Yeah. And some people like you don't get a hunch or intuition, they just get voices telling them exactly what to do or not to do. And we, the non channelers, we have to rely on intuition. Thank you very much, but that's what we have. Maybe in the next incarnation, I'll be as lucky as you to be able to channel. And sorry?
You never know; it could happen in this life as well.
Maybe if I keep moaning about it, maybe it'll happen eventually. Now, from all your channelings that you've done so far, what have you learned and understood about the following subjects? So let's start with the soul.
Yeah, what I've learned is like we have a soul which evolves, starts from like lower density, like first density, like elementals, learns the lesson, goes through a long period of learning the lessons and enters the second density, becomes like tree life forms, then becomes animal like pets, like we have dogs, and then it merges into like self-awareness, like we have self-awareness right now, and slowly it merges and learns the lessons. It goes into the fourth density, which we are yet to fully enter, which is the density of love and compassion for all beings. And then after that, they enter into the fifth density, which is the density, I think, of wisdom, and they can choose, what they want to learn. And then there is the sixth density, wherein our soul, merges into various timelines. Like I said, before, we have multiple timelines. So all the timelines, all the experiences, they come together. At that point, we have knowledge of everything. Pretty much like like connected. It's like a memory, social memory complex. That's what they say. Collection of various consciousness of different timelines, and that is able to guide the guide us at this time, which is really very hard to understand, because they say that the sixth density beings are guiding us right now. So it's all happening in the present moment, but we can only sense linear time. That's why it seems that we are like linear, and we are born at this time, we die after some time. It seems like that, but as far as what they've said, it's all happening in the now moment, which is like that beautiful moment between the past and the future, just like that moment. Yeah, that's what I know about the soul.
Yeah, but what about your soul? You say that the soul starts from the elementals, and then it moves up to being a tree, and then self-aware as a human. Now, is the soul separate? I mean, the soul, when the soul was a tree, it was separate from the tree next to it. So you know what I mean? And what about the mushroom,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fungus growing on the roots of the tree? That specific mushroom had a separate soul, and the
yeah, yeah,
spores
yeah.
had
Separate
separate
soul. Yeah,
souls. So how do
yeah,
you know
separate.
where does the
Even the
soul
bacteria.
start and where does it end?
Yeah, that's what I received from channeling. That's what they said is, in every droplet of water, is a different soul. Just imagine, like even like a small, like bacteria is a separate soul. It's just like fragmented species of experience. Much like you and I, we are separate souls. But if you look at our origins, we originated from the one source, and we may be considered as the same thing. But since we are experiencing different realities, we may be considered separate souls. Yeah. In essence, there is no separation. That's what the main message is. Even though it may appear separate in this reality, but later on, we merge together and become one. That's what it's known.
Yeah. Okay. What about consciousness? What is that?
Yeah, consciousness develops at the level of second density. When we were like plant life, slowly we had consciousness, but we were just like aware, okay, like just aware without self-awareness, without having the ability to be aware of awareness. Right now, we can be aware of awareness, like you can ask yourself, where is my awareness right now? I'm talking to Michael. My awareness is in my hand, so I'm able to be self-aware of this consciousness, right? So that is this density. In the second density, we just have awareness. There is no self-awareness. That's the difference.
So a plant knows that it knows that no, it doesn't know that it knows, but it just knows. It
Yeah, it
knows.
just knows. It
It
knows.
knows
Yeah,
that it exists.
yeah, that's it. It knows. That's
And a
it.
dog.
It's Yeah, same thing. It's just aware. Like a dog, they said, is like slowly, developing self-awareness.
Mm.
Like
Okay,
slowly, yeah.
fine. What about reincarnation? What can you say about that?
Oh yeah, like I said, the process from the first to the higher levels, it's a loop of reincarnation several times because sometimes the lessons you are not able to learn in a single lifetime, and that case you will have to reincarnate again to learn the same type of lesson either in a different timeline or on a different set of planet. And then once you master the lessons you need to learn, then you can merge forward and move into a different reality. Yeah.
What's a different reality? I mean, reality, dimensions. Is it the same thing? Is it different things? And what are they?
As far as I know, dimensions can be like infinite, right? Like there are infinite dimensions, but the reality is the one in which you are at this moment. So for us, this is the reality, but there are other dimensions, infinite, wherein we are doing something else. And just because we are here aware of this reality, so this becomes our reality for this timeline.
Uh-huh. I wish I could say I understood, but I didn't. And I'm already
Yeah.
used to not understanding, but I'll keep asking as long as I'm alive. Now, what happens after death?
Yeah, after that, the first thing that happens is your consciousness separates from your body. So what they have said is in our pineal gland is where our soul is like fixed. So when we die, the pineal gland, I think it like releases the soul, the silver cord breaks, and then we move to the other reality wherein there is no physical body. It's much like a dream state wherein you are able to just see the reality like in an imagination kind of thing, and then therein you'll receive healing. If you had a traumatic death, you'll receive healing, restoration of the previous memories, because for a fresh life to begin you need to let go of all the attachments of the previous life. And then the other thing you need and you'll be guided is you'll choose the type of incarnation you want to have if you have become self-aware. Now, if you are not self-aware, you cannot choose. The higher self will choose for you. But if you have reached enough self-awareness, you can choose the type of incarnation you want. So if Michael is self-aware at the highest level, then when Michael, wants to reincarnate again, he can decide what kind of, parents, what kind of situations, what lessons you learn prior to coming here. And there will be certain events which will be like a milestone, or certain events which will be put in the lifetime as catalysts, which will happen to allow you to, give yourself the chance to learn the lesson. Or maybe you have to learn forgiveness. So you'll have enough catalysts. Okay, like you'll have multiple chances of catalysts wherein you will be given the opportunity of forgiving. That kind of thing, yeah.
Okay, interesting. You says if I'm self-aware. So how can I become self-aware? Isn't that what Hinduism teaches? The Bhagavad Gita. Have you read that book?
No, I haven't read the book in entirety. Like I have, when in the back in my life, my mother and father, who is not here, they used to follow this like Bhagavad Gita book. Okay, like I have read only maybe like 1 or 2 pages, because I never resonated with like those teachings. Because what they teach is like God is outside, and it just doesn't align. Right now, I know that we are all gods. In essence. So yeah, I haven't read it in a way. And yeah, basically, the teachings of all religions, they are pretty much the same, I think.
Yes. Okay. I mean, I love the Bhagavad Gita, and I even do every 2 weeks. I have someone on the show who we read a chapter and we analyze it. And I read it 8 times, and I think it's the best book ever written. But whenever I speak to an Indian person, they always say, "Oh no, I never read it." And I think because it's in Sanskrit, so it's probably going to be very difficult for you. But if you read the English version, then it's like really simple because it's like common normal language. Krishna said this to Arjuna. Go straight, go left, do this, do that, and it's really simple. So maybe if you have a moment, you can try and reading it in English. Okay,
Oh yeah.
so that's the Bhagavad Gita. What about the ego? Have you heard of that? What is the ego?
Yeah. Yeah. What I know is the ego is like, one of the aspects of third density. So in the third density level, we develop the ego, which is primarily, for helping us to become, protect us. It was created, back in the time when there was like, we had to be like, service to self to survive. Because, the society was not like, this type of society we have right now. There used to be a lot of fighting, people used to like conserve their resources. They were fighting for resources. And at that time, the ego was really like developed to become like service to self and not to open up to allow and serve others. So that's what I learned is that the ego, throughout the generations as a human, became more and more stronger back in the day. But now, there is less place for the ego because our society is becoming more and more geared towards equality, slowly, less violence. But still, there is a lot of violence because of ego itself at the time. And one of the things that I know is that the ego takes in many forms, many shapes and form. It's very difficult to recognize. Many people they say the ego is the voice you hear inside your head. Some people say it's the critic inside you or whatever. There are different versions of the same thing, but I think that basically one of the things is whenever you're trying to do something just for feeling good for your own self, not helping other people. That is in a way your ego is using you to do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and we're meant to overcome our ego, aren't we? Because if you have only ego, then it's like the opposite of self-awareness, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because when you are not, self-awareness is the opposite of ego, like you said. When you are like totally self-aware, there cannot be any place for ego because ego uses our consciousness. So whenever we are unconscious, our egoic mind is using it, feeding us, thoughts like continuously without knowing it,
Yeah,
and that's not aware. We are unconscious in a way,
yeah,
and if you become conscious, yeah.
yeah. Okay, thank you. And what is enlightenment?
Oh yeah, enlightenment. I think what is it is when you are completely like balanced in all of your energy centers, and then you reach a moment, wherein you are united with the one infinite creator or the energy of the one infinite creator, and you feel. I have never. I don't know how to describe because I don't think I've ever like reached that level of enlightenment or whatever they call it. And I don't know really, frankly, I have no idea. I just know that it is a balancing of the energy center slowly throughout the experience, and then you reach a level wherein all of the energy centers are balanced, and then you receive the energy from the creator, and then that I think is enlightenment.
I can't wait to reach that level. That will be amazing. Now, have you heard of Ramana Maharshi, who teaches Advaita Vedanta?
Ramana Maharshi, yeah, actually, I have not heard that much about Ramana Maharshi.
Okay, and Advaita, Advaita Vedanta?
I think when I was like sometimes during my research, I was watching Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. I think he does the same thing, right? Like the Advaita thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've heard it in his show maybe.
Does it mean? But what does it mean, Advaita? Maybe you understand the meaning of the word because it's in Hindi or something, no?
No, it's in Sanskrit. I think it's Sanskrit.
I see. Okay, because that's
Right.
also to do with non-dualism, non-duality, like how we are not separate and it's all one, and kind of reaching a state where you experience the oneness and not like the ego and the separate self. You just experience everything that's around you, and like the rocks and the sun and the sky, and it's just all one, and you are it. And deep down, you are the whole universe, manifesting through you in a particular way. I don't know. I'm not there. I'm just all ego, but I thought maybe you can shine some light on that. You say Eckhart Tolle, fair enough. I think that is quite self-explanatory. What about, we kind of touched upon it, but the period, as far as you're concerned, what is the period that humanity is going through right now? How do you see it?
Right now, I think humanity is going through a transition from the third density to the fourth. So it's a lot of like struggle to let go of the old belief systems, the old patterns, because they're breaking down. The old systems are breaking down, and the new systems are rising. The new system is like basically composed of love, compassion, equality, and you can see that people are slowly becoming aware of what they have been doing. They're trying to create separation, based upon what we have done, or whether we have taken the V and stuff like that kind of thing. It's just they're trying to create separation in a way, but some people, they are rising above that, and we are entering into the density of love. This is what it is. We need to learn how to unconditionally love. That's it.
Okay, fair enough. And so how do you explain all the pandemic or the plandemic and the wars and all these lies, on mainstream media? I mean, does it have a role to play in the moving into this love state? Because it doesn't look very loving, if you see what I mean, on the outside.
Yeah, I think it does have an impact, because if you think about the pandemic that happened, people were forced to like stay inside, and some of them, they used that opportunity to go within and discover their true self. But many of them, they were not able to handle that situation, and I think it was created as a means of by the negative entities to stop the ascension which is happening on our planet. And I think even without the pandemic, we would have entered into a higher level of consciousness. But we learned a lot during this phase about our attention and how it creates our reality. Because as far as like as soon as the attention of the human collective shifted from the pandemic, like right now, where is the pandemic? Like, it's slowly disappearing, right? Because people are not focusing attention on it. But as soon as people start again giving their attention to the pandemic thing, watching the news over and over again, talking about it, then it will spread more. So I think one of the things we learned is like attention has a lot of power. We just like give it freely, whatever like is being shown. So yeah, I think
I
we learned
see.
that.
Okay, fair enough. And what about the fifth dimension, this 5D thing? I mean, I hear some people say that 5D you don't even have bodies. I was interviewing somebody who said you don't want to be in the fifth dimension because you won't have a body. It's when you are so transcended that it's almost like it looks like death. And somebody else said no, fifth dimension is something that happens in parallel. Like you can have right now people who are in the fifth dimension because of their state of mind, and other people who are in the third dimension, all living on the same planet in the same time, but in different dimensions. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think fifth dimension is the same as the fourth density. So as far as I have channeled, like there are 8 sub levels of fourth density. So as you slowly progress through the fourth density, like slowly progressing, you reach one point, wherein you will merge with other consciousness. Like Michael's consciousness will merge with mine, and other people's will merge together, like a social memory complex. And then at that point, you can decide, either to stay as a body or stay as a consciousness only. So I think that's what I know from my channeling session.
Okay. And if I was to ask you to imagine the world, like describe the world, in 20 or 30 years from now, when the good timeline actually happens, how will the world look like, and how is our daily life going to look like?
Yeah, I think from what I know is that there will be no governmental system. Like we will be pretty much equal, and everyone will be aligned. I don't know how it will work, but maybe some changes will happen, and we don't need like a leader or anyone to follow like we have right now. And the other thing is they said we will not need any currency, so I don't know how that will actually work out. Because I don't know. Maybe there is a way how it works out, and then we will have ability of accessing the memories from various people. Like if I want to know what Michael is thinking in my mind, then I can like telepathically receive messages. Like like high level abilities will begin to appear, and then we'll become more transparent. So just imagine like you're aware of every thought I could think of, and then I will not be able to lie, like, because everything about me, right? So I think at that point, all of the egoic stuff will disappear, because there will be so much transparency that what everything, right, and in totality, and then like fully you can love people, unconditional love, like togetherness, unity will start to form. I think that's the next level.
Amazing. Sounds like heaven on earth. Wow.
Yeah.
What can I say, Sam? I mean, I've thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. It was absolutely amazing. Time just flew by like that, a whole hour. And I think you're an amazing person. I think you're so authentic, and that's why you're so successful, because you're just pure authenticity, which is so rare these days. And what can I say? I loved every moment, and I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for this interview. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Michael, thank you so much for inviting me and helping spread the message, because it just helps other people to find out about their own self.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, and good luck with your channelings. I will definitely be watching. So thank you once again. Take care. And to my lovely viewers, thank you so much. This was Sam the Illusionist, an amazing channeler. I highly recommend that you subscribe to his channel. All of his details are going to be stated underneath this video. Stay happy, contented, and thank you for watching. We are free.tv.